Hey, it's Isabel from the Assisted Living Network, and if you're wondering who to hire, how to find them, and how to become completely hands-off in this business, look no further. I'm going to be teaching you all of the secrets to building your dream team in your first residential assisted living home.
In the United States right now, there are 76 million baby boomers. The number one dilemma for these baby boomers? Housing. That dilemma can be your opportunity. Welcome to the Assisted Living Network podcast, where you can discover how just one residential assisted living home could secure your financial future forever.
When it comes to starting your RAL home, you want to make sure that this isn't like other businesses where you can wear all of the hats. No. Listen, others will tell you that it's okay to start small and you can be the owner and the operator and the administrator and the caregiver and the marketing director and the chef too. I will say, not if you're smart. You do not have to be the end all be all in this industry. And others who tell you that you do, they're simply wrong. Truly, you should set this business up from day one the way you want it to be year 5. And if you do that, you'll be able to grow faster, scale more, and actually have the financial and time freedom that you set out to gain from this venture. It's really hard to work yourself out of a 24/7 job. So let's dive in on how to set up your staffing chart and roles within the home. There are many roles in this industry, and the first one at the bottom of the chart is your caregiver. I want to say at the bottom because they're like the back. They are the spine. They are the most important thing going on. This person is doing the 24/7 care of the residents. They may be in charge of the laundry, cooking, cleaning, and they are hands-on in your business. They do most of the work. They're involved in the day-to-day operations. And depending on how large or small scale your home and business are, they may be in charge of setting up the activities calendar, running some of the activities as well. They're really the lifeblood of your business. This role is so important, and it is the number one most in-demand job in our country today. We have a lack of caregiver crisis on our hands. And I don't know about you, but seeing Elon Musk's new robots who can watch your kids and walk the dog and do other things, that has me really freaked out. Okay, I don't want a robot caring for me when I'm old. I want a lovely person who's my guide, my friend, my aid in this vulnerable time. If we don't solve this crisis, the robots may be coming to the rescue. Yikes, okay? Regardless, this caregiver is usually working an 8, 10, or 12-hour shift, and they are typically doing just that, shift work, not living in the home. I've shared this before on a previous episode, but just in case this is your first one, I don't like the live-in model. It can make your caregivers jobless if you need to fire them, but also homeless. So shift work it is, 24/7 coverage with a 4-to-1 or 5-to-1 ratio. And that's the main role that you're hiring for in your RAL home, since you'll have multiple positions to fill in this category. Next up is the assistant administrator or house manager, you may hear it called. Depending on how big you plan to scale, this is a great role that many mom and pop owner operators completely skip out on. They hire an administrator, but no one to assist them. They may be a caregiver who's really showing initiative. They may be someone who has amazing skills that you want to utilize, or someone who's currently in school or training to become an administrator, and you want to bless them with an opportunity to grow and utilize those skills. So being the assistant is kind of perfect. If you have multiple homes, you can have multiple house managers, one per house. They may take on shifts like a caregiver, but they'll usually be paid more, like $1 or $2 more, or maybe even a flat rate based on their job description. They can be doing some of the work that would be typically assigned to the administrator, but be sure whoever you put in this position doesn't have the same skills as the administrator. You want someone who complements those skills, not someone who mimics those skills. If the administrator is terrible at giving tours to the families, but the house manager rocks at it, that's perfect. The yin and the yang, okay? The mismatching skill sets, that's what we're looking for. Next up is the administrator. This person is licensed through the state as their administrator for the home. Their license is physically hung on the wall, and they are the licensed person who takes care of onboarding new residents, relationships with outside vendors and contacts like doctors, nurses, placement agents. They do the hiring, firing, onboard training, and retention of the new staff. They work with all the outside contractors too, like any cleaning staff, private chef, activities people coming and going, maybe even a handyman, landscaper, PT, pest control. I mean, the list goes on and on, honey. They're not only licensed through the state to do this job, but the state will determine how many homes they can hang their license on. Some states may say 4 homes, others may limit you to 2, and some may not have a limit. If your state says 2 or more, then this is an important role and gives another level between you and the staff. When a caregiver calls out and cannot come into their shift, the house manager gets called to fill it with someone else or do the job themselves. If for any reason they cannot do one of those 2 things, the administrator is who gets called next. They handle the issue from there. You are the owner sitting at the top. You do not get that call. Okay, you do not even know that that's an issue because the administrator has a weekly meeting with you where they use a form to fill out and inform you of what's going on, the details of what's been happening in the home. And maybe then they'll tell you about who's been hired or fired, and they'll tell you about incidents or new residents coming in, how many tours they did throughout that week, what marketing efforts are looking like right now. They're going to report to you any fluctuations in spending or income. They'll give you a base overview so that you know and understand what's happening inside the home. But without this person, you will become hands-on. And eventually, you're going to start getting those calls. Setting up your home with a strong set of roles and everyone knowing who to go to, who's in charge, who to call is key to your success in being hands-off in this industry. If you cannot afford to have all of the staff members in your home, you either need to look at the deal to see if it's a good deal, because if it can't work, then it might not work, if you know what I mean. But if you need to squeeze, I would say the flexibility is with the house manager. You don't need this person up front with only 1 home. But as soon as you start to scale and have more homes, it's vital for you to start bringing in the levels to the operational chart. I love sharing with people tips and tricks on how to run their RAL business. So this is reminiscent of one of our coaching calls that we do with our platinum students from our 3-day fast track training. And if you want to learn more or get in touch with the team to see how we can help you take the next step, schedule a call today using the link in our show notes. And before you go, make sure to like and share this episode and follow us wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Thank you for listening to the Assisted Living Network.